Okay, so I'm making a candy corn themed wreath, and I already have one bow in it, but I want to make another one, so I thought I'd show you guys really quick. Hopefully my small child will be upstairs and he will stay up there and be quiet. So, okay, so this is one of the ribbons. Actually, I think I'm going to use all of the ones that I've used in my wreath. Oftentimes, I will incorporate one or two ribbons that are not in my wreath, but however, some of the ones I wanted to use I didn't have enough of. So, okay, I have one bow in this wreath already, and I'll show you the wreath here in just a second. And it's a bigger bow, and so I want this one to be a little bit smaller. So I'm just taking this ribbon and I'm going to use my Easy Bow Maker here. I'm doing 6-inch tails, and I'm gonna do 5-inch loops. You just scrunch in the middle, and then you're gonna do a twist. And I'm gonna go out to my 5. These Easy Bow Makers make it so easy. I have a little bit of arthritis in my fingers, I think. Not diagnosed, but I believe that's what my problem is. And so these really help me just hold my bows together. So, okay, so I did a tail and a loop on that side. I have got 2 loops on this side, and then I'm gonna cut this. And so one side will be 2 tails and a loop, and the other side will be 2 loops. And then I wanna use this candy corn ribbon, but I don't have enough. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use it as tails. So make sure it goes out to the 6. And I'm going to twist it around. Let's see, actually. Let's see what I've got here. Maybe I can get 1 loop out of it at least. That would be great. Oh, I can. Okay. So this one I'm gonna go to the 5 as well. So if you notice, I started on the opposite side so that my tail will go on that side instead, because my 2 tails are over here. So now I want my tails over there. So if I would have had enough of this, I would have done the same thing as the bottom, where I would have had 2 loops over here and my tails and my loop over here, but I don't have enough. That's okay. That is okay. It's still gonna be super cute. I'm going to snip this little guy off. Okay, and I think I want a little bit more yellow, so I did not incorporate this into my wreath. And I'm going to use it in my bow, just to give me a little bit more yellow for my little candy corn themed here. Snip those off to make those pretty little dovetails. And so now I'm going to start on this side, and I'm going to go just a tiny bit shorter on my tails. And I'm going to do the same thing, scrunch, twist, and this time I'm going to take these to about 4 inches. And sometimes you just kind of have to move your stuff around so I can see my number 4 there. Or you can kind of eyeball it. I often just kind of eyeball. And you just kind of go, okay, where are we at here? Okay. Go to that guy. And then snip this one off. Bow making is all about practice, I think. Practice and just trying things out. I don't think anybody's a perfect bow maker right from the very beginning. I know I look back at some of the wreaths I've made like years ago and I go, huh. I definitely have grown over the years. As I've made things, I've experimented, I've tried new things. I hear people say, oh, I'm not good at making bows. Well, you can be, you just have to practice. You know, watch tutorials, watch, you know, any video you can find, but I think it's all about practice and realizing that no one is perfect. So I think I might do the same with how on the bottom I only had the 1. Maybe, let's see. Let's kind of see how I feel here. But anyways, just get out a bow maker if you have one and just sit and practice. Pull out a few ribbons. The fun thing about bows is I feel like they're very forgiving. And, you know, I think I'm going to do just 2 loops on this polka dot one instead of the 3. That's the fun thing about bows is, like, I don't think there's any rhyme, like, rules set to them. You know, you can do what you want, and as long as you've got loops and you've got tails, things are going to turn out cute. I make all sorts of variations, and I use extra ribbon that I have left over from things and just incorporate what I can, and it turns out cute. And you know what? Nobody would notice if you made a small mistake or you ran out of the ribbon unless you're going to point it out to them, because all they see is a pretty bow. So to tie that all together, let me grab my pipe cleaner here. And you just stick that right in the middle. And you're gonna carefully just lift it all off of here. And I'm just pinching the top and the bottom. And I like to flip it over and tie that all off. And everybody makes bows different as well. So what works for you might not work for me. And what works for me might not work for you. So now we're just gonna kind of fluff it up. Oftentimes I have to go back in and maybe I have to shorten some tails if I made one too long. Maybe it's longer than the other one. Like I feel like my yellow, this one's a little bit longer than the other one. Snip that off. And I'm just fluffing. That's what I'm doing here. Fluffing it up. Okay, so let's show you this wreath. This wreath is super fun. This will be available on my page. All right, so I'm using a work wreath form, and on these work wreath forms, the ties on these are these like tinsel ties, or not tinsel, pine, I don't know what you wanna call them, pine, tinsel, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm just gonna snip it off because I'm not gonna use that. I did use those, however, to attach my ribbons, and then I just twisted, snipped off the extras, and just kind of tucked them in, okay? So now I'm gonna come in here, and I'm just going to attach this. I like to make sure it goes around part of the frame itself so that it's going to hold on. And look at how fun this is. And you know what? Speaking of adding or using extras of things, that's what I did on this wreath. I, as a wreath maker, often have extra mesh lying around. And you know what? That mesh still costs me money. And I don't want to just sit around being lonely and not getting to be pretty on someone's door. So add in that extra mesh that you have. Again, no one's gonna notice unless you point it out, you know? As long as it turns out pretty, who cares if you used 4 different rolls of mesh, you know? Okay, so fluff, fluff, fluff. So here's my 2 pretty little bows. I said all about the fluff. Check out this cute sign from Craft Outlet. I can come back here if I want and snip anything if I feel like it's too long. I always like to make sure I can see my signs. So I might do a little snippy snip on this guy. But anyways, I hope you guys either just like watching these for fun, because I know I like to watch them for fun, or if it inspires you to make something, go make something creative and just have fun. I'm gonna add this little embellishment in to just really top it off.